link yesterday, but I would like you to explain what is coming up on North Broad next week.
Cheers, I appreciate it, John, as well. So it's the first of its kind. I've talked about this for the last month, and it's fast approaching next Tuesday night at Temple University at 6 p.m. in Minton Hall. It's the first ever 2 NIL programs helping universities with their basketball programs. And it's Adrian Wojnarowski, who's a diehard St. Bonaventure alum. And obviously everybody knows about Woj and his history of Woj bombs at ESPN with the NBA and covering that sport. He decided to leave and become the GM at St. Bonaventure for their basketball program. And this is the state of college athletics, so you got to raise money until the revenue sharing bill gets passed. So as a result, you got to raise money through NIL. That's the difference between the haves and the have-nots. So Woj and I are really good friends, and we used to talk all the time about the old days about Atlantic 10 basketball and how he covered John Chaney at St. Bonaventure, how my love affair for Temple hoops as well as covering Coach Chaney as a student. And we would always go back at the rivalries and stuff like that in the Atlantic 10. And we decided that, hey, how about we form one together night of 2 collectives where we could raise money for Temple University basketball and St. Bonaventure University basketball. And as a result, this is what it's going to come down to. At 6 o'clock, you get the chance to talk to Woj and I, talk about the NIL experience. We can raise money, and then we have plenty of auction items, and then the VIP experience is at 7:30. So it's just one of those things that it's never been done before. This is the wild, wild west in college athletics, and we are trying our best to help 2 programs that we passionately love. So I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate you guys shouting it out. It's, again, February 25th, next Tuesday night in Philadelphia, Woj and me at Temple University starting at 6 p.m.
Love that. Love
That's
that.
awesome.
It's a great event, and it helps out. Look, I know not everybody went to Temple in the Philadelphia area, but if you're a supporter of the Big Five, you still want, iconic, even if we just focus on the basketball side of things, this is a great way to help support local schools and try to bring back a good collegiate programs here to Philadelphia.
Appreciate you saying that. You're 100% right.
Damn right. All right, Kevin. Eagles, they made some news yesterday. We had Adam Schefter on yesterday morning, and he said maybe it would be a good idea for the Eagles to be patient. And, it's not like Kevin Patullo's going anywhere. Be patient. Maybe there's an offensive mind in college that says, hey, I wouldn't mind interviewing for that job. And then, a couple hours later, they hired Kevin Patullo to be the OC. Your opinion on the decision to promote from within with Kevin Patullo?
I think there are 2 angles here. One, stability for Jalen Hurts is so important, and that's really the terminology is going to stay the same. Something that, if you look at Hurts' career, 4 different play callers, and you're dealing with a constant change in his NFL career. And then let's not forget that a handful of different coordinators in college at Alabama and then going to Oklahoma. So some stability is important. My concern with it all, there is no experience in play calling. And that is a big deal. I think Kellen Moore's experience in play calling played a big role. I thought Kellen Moore's play calling was fantastic against the Commanders. I thought he was really, really good. I thought he was really good in the Super Bowl as well. And so, as a result, that comes through time, right? That comes through reps and experience and intuition and instinct because you've done it. You realize that. That will be my growing concern in a game where things are not working here. What are you going to do? How are you going to counteract? How are we going to figure it out? Because if you try to run it back like it was coming out, after losing Steichen, you do have some issues. And that's not just on Brian Johnson. I think Brian Johnson was too much of the GOAT and too much of the fall guy. So my concern is the experience of play calling and how will that factor in, because this schedule is going to be brutal, guys. The Eagles' schedule is going to be really, really brutal. I think they've got the AFC West and the NFC North on their schedule.
They're at Buffalo, at Kansas City, which is hard right in and of itself.
Brutal,
Those are
both of them.
two really, really tough games, and they got more than that, too. Hey, where would your shopping list be, Kev? If I said to you, you could retain 2 of the free agents, who are you retaining?
I'm taking the linebacker without question.
Zach Bond goes 1. You're signing him back.
Yeah.
Who else are you trying to lock down then?
See, I think Milton Williams is going to be in the market. He is going to get paid. He's going to get upwards of $20 million a year.
Wow. Probably.
The market, it's the market, right? Whether it makes sense or not, it's what the market commands, especially with the salary cap going to $22 to $26 million. So the other priority would be, I would look into Josh Sweat, but Sweat's going to get paid. They're going to find money in the market, man. He took a pay cut last year. He found a way to capitalize on everything. So those are the 3 guys, right? If there's anybody else, bring it to my attention. But those are the 3 guys at the top of the board defensively that you've got to kind of secure. If you gave me two of the 3, I would try to retain Sweat. But it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really tough. But they got the compensatory picks. They're fine with that. They'll have some money to work with. And this is a draft where we could see in the first round 10 guys, defensive ends and defensive tackles, go off the board in the first round. So I bring that up to you that it is rich. It is rich with defensive line talent in the first 2 to 3 rounds, and the Eagles could capitalize.
Look who's already doing their homework, getting ready for draft night.
Damn right, man. He's got to be prepared.
I know you got that. I know you've already started studying and have your little binders together.
I'm nerding out on that stuff. I totally am. Especially you're going to see a run of quarterbacks probably in the 2nd and 3rd round. So that'll help the Eagles if picking 32, but it'll help the Eagles get some more talent in that 2nd and 3rd round to address needs, because you're going to see teams take. You may see a 3rd quarterback in that 1st round, but you won't see more than 3 in that 1st round. So as a result, 2nd round, 3rd round, teams will start making some quarterback picks, which would be great for the Eagles then.
So stick in there. Yesterday, Howie Roseman, probably like Christmas Day for him, when he gets the report that the cap's going up another $22 to $25 million. I'm sure Howie Roseman, that's like opening up the first present on Christmas morning, finding that out.
Or Hanukkah.
Or Hanukkah, yes, thank you. Does Howie Roseman go for one big splash, or do you think, or would you rather him try to get a couple of different pieces, but the big splash, you can then just get the other positions through the draft? What do you want Howie Roseman to try to target with this extra newfound wealth?
To me, it's just tweaking, man. For a guy that literally nailed every single decision last offseason, to me, you just got tweaks here, because you already got a base that's built in. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to figure out how to lock up some long-term talent. They did a phenomenal job last year. Again, Bond, you got to keep. Got to find an edge rusher if Sweat decides that he's going to test the market and see his value, which he deserves. As a result, you got to get an edge rusher. You already got Nolan Smith. That has been figured out. That has been a huge revelation over the last, I'd say, half of the season, right? He was a different player, and that was such a big bonus for them. So you just got to get another edge rusher, and clearly you continue to develop the talent in the middle of the line. It's amazing, though, guys. Everybody looks great when you have Jalen Carter.
Oh my God!
Everybody looks great when you have Jalen Carter next to you. The amount of real estate he takes to free everybody else up, and everybody can eat off the same plate is remarkable.
Well, and that's why I feel bad saying it, Kevin, because they just won the Super Bowl. But like DeAndre Swift last year, I knew somebody was going to overpay DeAndre Swift when he was able to run behind this offensive line. Somebody's going to overpay for Josh Sweat when he was able to play next to Jalen Carter.
Yeah, and that may be the same thing with Williams, too. I mean, look at what the Hargrave stuff happened a couple years ago, right? They let him walk, and it was like a big deal. And he didn't have the impact that you thought he would have with the 49ers. That's a great point, Jonas. Before I go, I do want to give you guys a shout-out, though. I think you guys deserve the shout-out. Calling out Prisco the way you guys did, really well done.
And Pete's a good sport, though.
Yeah, he absolutely
Pete was a really good sport, and we've had a long relationship, so he was cool with it. But I said, you're coming to you're coming to a shooting.
Yeah, he needed to hear.
He knew
it.
what he was walking into. But
well, I got to tell you, Pete's a professional.
Yes.
Whatever he says, he will face the music. He's the type of person that if he writes something, he'll go in the locker room. If he got something to say. That's old school pros. That's old school journalistic professionalism, right? So I got to give him credit for doing that, but that's what you're supposed to do, I think, in this business. If you call somebody out, face the music when, hey, it doesn't make sense. But you guys were effective in your in your explanation, because there were some things where I'm like, Pete, man, you're doing circles around yourself. They're not even doing the work. They're just setting you up perfectly. And some of the reasoning, I'm glad you guys called them out. That was something.
Thank you. It was fun to do. Well, we'll leave it at that.
It was fun.
It was very fun for us to do. Therapeutic.
Yes.
Some would say, Kev.
There you go.
Therapeutic's a good word.
Yep.
Thanks,
man,
man.
Kev. We appreciate it, and great luck on the event next week, man. It's gonna be a blast.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Take care, man.
It'll be good to be back home next Tuesday. Talk to you soon.
You're the man. There he is, Kevin Negandhi on the Comcast Business Hotline. Hey guys, Andrew Salciunas from Kincade and Salciunas. Thank you for checking out all of our stuff on YouTube. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on everything that you see. And of course, you can see everything from our YouTube feed, full shows, interviews, when John's being an idiot, which is like 15 times a day. So make sure you check out all of our stuff on YouTube. We appreciate it.